Okay, now let's do dilations on a coordinate plane. Okay, so dilate each of the figures in questions 1 through 4 by the given scale factor. Then record the coordinates of the image as well as an algebraic representation of the dilation. So if you go to the first video that I recorded going over the dilations notes, we learned how to find the scale factor whenever the images were already dilated. Okay, and it was kind of towards the end of the video. So here, first off, they're asking, well, how would this triangle look if it was dilated by a scale factor of 1.5? Okay, so what I'm going to do is, well, let's see. We're going to take our points. We're going to take A, B, and C. Okay, so A is at -4 and -2. Okay, B is at -2 and +4, and +4. Okay, and C is at, let's see, C is at 4 and -2. So now that I have my points, the way that I find my A prime, B prime, and C prime with the dilation is I multiply those points by the scale factor. Okay? The scale factor that they give me is 1.5. So I'm just going to take every single point and multiply it by 1.5. Okay? So if I multiply these by 1.5, alright, I'm going to multiply these by 5 multiplied. Okay? And I'm going to do this for my x and y value. So -4 multiplied by 1.5, that's going to give me 6, or -6 in this case, -6. -2 multiplied by 1.5, or 1.5, is -3. Okay. B, -2 multiplied by 1.5, we already know that it would be -3. Okay. Now 4 multiplied by 1.5, 4 times 1.5 is going to give you 6. Okay. And if you're having trouble with the calculation, just pull out a calculator. Okay. So 4 times 1.5 would be 6, and -2 multiplied by 1.5 would be -3. Okay. So let's go over how I got those numbers again. Well, we plotted the points, right? A, B, and C from this triangle. And then to find our new A prime, B prime, and C prime, right? They told me that the scale factor was 1.5. So to dilate that image and expand it, we take the points and we multiply it by our scale factor. That's how we got all our new points. And the algebraic representation, well, an algebraic representation, again, always starts out with x and y in the parentheses. That arrow tells me that a transformation is happening. And what happened? How did we get from -4 to -6? Well, we multiplied that x value, right? We multiplied that x value by 1.5x, and we multiplied the y values by 1.5 as well. Okay. So that's the algebraic representation. So let's go to question 2. Question 2 says that the scale factor is 2. So let's go ahead and plot my points. We got A. A is at 3 and 3. Okay. B is at 3 and 15. Okay, because it's 15 on the y-axis, 3 on the x. Okay. And then C is 5 and 3. So again, like we did over here, we're going to multiply each of our x and y values by our scale factor, which is 2. So I'm going to multiply 3 times 2 on every single value. I'm going to multiply it by 2. Okay. So 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, so A prime is now 6, 6. B, 3 times 2, as we know, is 15 times 2 is 30. Okay, and then C prime would be 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay. So the algebraic representation, again, you always start it out as x and y. Draw the arrow, okay? And then it's going to be, well, how do we get from 3 to 6? And how do we get from all of these original A, B, and C to the A prime, B prime, C prime? We multiplied everything by our scale factor, which was 2. Okay? So, we're going to put a 2 in front of the x and a 2 in front of the y. Okay? Easy as that. All right? Now let's move on. Okay, so I want you to try questions 3 and 4 on your own. Okay, pause the video. Try it for yourself. Okay, scroll down. All right. And here are the answers for 3 and 4. Okay, those are A, B, and C. Then if you scroll down, you're going to get these values. Okay, the algebraic representation is right there. Okay, so double check your work to see if you're correct. All right. So it says in questions 5 through 10, use the graph or the given coordinates of a dilation to determine the scale factor that was used. Then give an algebraic representation of the dilation. Okay. Well, now this is where that saying comes in, right? That no. Okay, this means new divided by original. Okay. So let's take our points that they give me, right? Let's find u from u prime, okay? So I'm going to take my new point, and again, how do I know which one is the old one or which one is the new one? Well, the new one will always have that prime mark right here, okay? That prime mark tells me that that's the new point. So I'm going to take my new point, so u prime, and let's go ahead over here. So u prime was at what? U prime is at 4 and 9. Okay? At 4, 9. Now my original u was found at 8 and 18. Okay? So u is 8, 18. So now what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to divide, right? New divided by original. No. So 4 divided by 8 would give me, if I simplify that, it's going to get me to 1 half. 9 divided by 18 would give me 1 half. So that's our scale factor. Okay, 1 half, right? You don't have to put it like that. But 1 half is our scale factor. Okay, so 1 half. How do you write it out in an algebraic representation? Well, we always start out with x and y. Again, I draw an arrow after it to tell me that a transformation is happening. And how do we get from these numbers in the original u to the u prime, right? It got smaller, so I know my scale factor has to be less than 1, right? And we found our scale factor to be 1 half. 1 half x, 1 half y. And again, the algebraic representation, all it does is it tells you, you take your original points, whatever the points may be, and you multiply it by whatever the scale factor was. In this case, it was 1 half. All right? So now let's look at question 6. So question 6, again, let's start out by writing new over old. Okay, that's how we're gonna find our scale factor. So v prime is our new one, right? The one with the little tick mark, kind of up and to the right of it, okay? That is our new v point, okay? So v prime is at -7 and 7. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that over here. V prime is at -7 and 7. Now, the original v is found at -3 and 3. Okay, so v is at -3 and 3. Okay, now I'm going to divide both. -7 divided by -3, I can't simplify that really, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at that. negative 7 over negative 3, right? And when you divide a negative by a negative, these cancel out. So this is just going to be 7 over 3. Okay, so now we found our scale factor. Okay, so scroll back up here. Our scale factor we found to be 7 over 3. What's the algebraic representation? Again, it always starts out as x and y in the parentheses, and then you draw an arrow for transformation happening. And what do we multiply our x and y by to get to the new v prime? 7 over 3. Okay, so you put that 7 over 3 in front of the x and the y. Okay, so now I want you guys to, I'll scroll back up here just in case you didn't get this. Okay, scroll down. So I want you guys to try questions 7, 8, 9, and 10 on your own. So let me go ahead and show you all the questions, okay? And you should be able to have the sheet if you're in my Canvas class. So, okay, 7 and 8. Okay, you can pause the video at any time. Here are questions 9 and 10. Okay. And the answers to these are found right here. So double check your work, check if you got the correct answers. Message me if you have any questions on if you got an answer incorrect and you want to know why. Okay, so here's 7 and 8. And scroll down. Here is question 9 and 10.